Being Puppycat has had an interesting time. It was originally released as a short series on YouTube, with its first season being composed of 11-minute episodes and just barely coming in at 2 hours long. The second season, Lazy in Space, got snarled in an endless sequence of delays and was eventually leaked onto the internet. After this, Netflix picked the show up and has recently released it with a 16-episode run. So the Netflix production is a bit of a soft reboot, with changes being made to the show's art style and story. There's a lot that could be discussed about how the show has changed, but that's not what this video is about. This is the video I would have written about being Puppycat when I first saw the original series if I had been making videos at the time. This is about the quiet melancholy and joy of Bee and Puppycat. Bee is a kind and somewhat clumsy young woman with a track record of losing jobs, doing her best on the tiny island she lives on. Bee is the heart of the show and also the source of most of its mysteries. Bee has a strange personality, but her quirks also extend to her body. In the first episode alone, we see Bee put out a fire with her bare hands and slip on a pair of glass-filled boots without care, signaling that not everything is as it seems with her. Pinning down her age is tricky. I want to say Bee is about 25, though that may just be me projecting on to a character I deeply relate to. The question of Bee's age is also complicated by numerous implications throughout the show that Bee may be much older than she looks. Puppycat comes into the story as an answer of sorts to Bee's prayers. As she walks home after losing her job at a cat cafe owned by her friend Deckard's family, Bee wishes for a cat, just somebody to take care of. Puppycat falls from a beam of pink light and straight into Bee's life. Puppycat serves as a foil to Bee. Where she is kind and cheery, Puppycat is vain and selfish and angry. Puppycat generally takes whatever he wants with a surprising amount of ingenuity and a rather obscene lack of empathy. The biggest thing Puppycat, with his strange warbling speech, brings to Bee besides companionships is jobs. With Bee's bell, the pair can access temp space, where a lovely computer called TempBot gives them temp jobs across distant planets. These jobs come with cute outfit changes and, more importantly, the cash Bee needs to keep the lights on and the toilet full of snacks. These jobs are rarely as simple as they may seem, however. Not only are the characters Bee and Puppycat encounter as eccentric in personality as they are in looks, hands are chasing them across the universe, hunting for Puppycat, who, once upon a time, was a space outlaw who fell in love with a princess who betrayed him. While these hands lend themselves to an exciting finale and increased tension throughout the show, they don't worry the rest of the story too much. Sure, there's the episode where Bee hurts herself fighting them and we discover she's a robot, or maybe a cyborg, but even that revelation feels like a minor note in the grand scheme of the story. This is part of what makes Bee and Puppycat resonate so strongly with me. At its heart, it's a story about how life goes on. What Do You Want to Be is one of the more important episodes in the show, even if it's only the third. In this episode, Bee and Puppycat and Deckard go to the arcade to celebrate Bee's birthday. Bee ends up taking a temp job and brings Deckard with her instead of Puppycat. This episode might highlight Bee's meandering better than any of the others. Bee and Deckard arrive at a planet with a simple job: help the pleasant alien Mooly make donuts from wish-granting crystals. Bee discovers that she has a talent for it, calling it the first thing she's ever been good at. And Deckard loves cooking, but finds baking incredibly hard, usually burning his creations by accident. Because of this, Deckard's given up on his dreams of going to culinary school. We saw him throw away his acceptance letter at the start of the episode. Bee does convince Deckard to follow his dreams, to leave the island and see what culinary school has to offer. We see little of Deckard in the show after this, but we do get glimpses of how hard he's working and how difficult the school genuinely is. Deckard's not the only character in the show associated with dreams, however. In fact, his entire family seems to be an allegory for how dreams can impact your life. Part of Deckard's motivation for declining culinary school was to follow in the footsteps of his older sister Cass. Cass is generally the straight man of the show, the only one calling out the general oddities of the island as being, well, odd. At one point, Cass dreamed of being a professional wrestler, but gave up on that sometime before the show began, currently working from home as a computer programmer. There are melancholy moments where Cass seems to regret this, but she also seems content enough with her job and being close to her family. Hal, Deckard's brother who owns the cat cafe and fired B at the beginning of the show, also has a different take on dreams associated with his character. Hal followed his, opening the cat cafe, which isn't going well. Despite Hal owning the cafe, Deckard was the cook. He was the one making food that people wanted to come and eat. After Deckard left for culinary school, the cafe fell on hard times as the food began driving customers away rather than enticing them. Hal is finding himself running a dying business with stacks of unpaid and overdue bills hidden beneath of the cash register. And then there's Merlin, the brother who went off to medical school and lied to the family about completing it, which was just shown as a little Easter egg. The consequences of these actions haven't been shown yet. This whole family is tangled up in dreams. Dreams accomplished and dreams lost and dreams struggling. When we meet up with Deckard in the finale, we find that culinary school isn't easy. In fact, he's close to flunking and just giving up and going back home. Following his dreams isn't presented as the end-all be-all, the solution to Deckard's problems. But there's nuance here. Just like chasing his dreams isn't fixing all Deckard's problems, Cass giving up on hers didn't magically make her life perfect. Hal still loves his cats and his cafe, even if it's a struggle. Being Puppycat doesn't treat dreams as the goal of life, but a facet. It doesn't matter how strange things are. It doesn't matter how big your dreams, whether you chase them or not, or if you simply meander about to enjoy your life. You can be lazy in space or passionate on Earth. Regardless, life will go on.